Alright, what is up everybody? It's Illinois Outdoorsman, and today we're going to kind of go a different route on this. We're out here at Weldon Springs. Today I'm going to teach, grab it real quick. I am going to teach you guys how to fish the topwater frog. At least what I know. This is for educational purposes, but if you guys have any other tips or comments about it, drop them in the comments below. But I'm going to show you what I know on fishing a frog and how I fish a frog, and a couple of different ways I use as far as dissecting cover, where to throw, what kind of retrieves. We'll go over what setup I've got. Sorry about the wind noise. It's like a 10-mile-an-hour wind. It's just coming in here goofy. So yeah, we're going to go over and try and teach you guys how to fish frogs. So stay tuned. Alright you guys, first thing we're going to go over is my setup. What I've got here is a quantum pole. It's a quantum smoke. It's a heavy action rod, 7'10". I know everybody says a shorter rod for fishing out of a kayak is better. I like the longer rod because I can keep that tension on there. Even if I lean back, I can still paddle and keep a lot of tension on the line and not let that slack get in there. Got a medium fast tip on it. The reel is a quantum nitrous. Is 6.1 to 1. Normally you'd want something faster, but having the slower gear ratio, it's harder to pull it out of the fish's mouth. Just you got to reel up that much more line. Spider wire, 50-pound easy braid, and a Spro, bronze-eye frog. Just whatever frog you want, really. They'll hit it. They're looking for the profile. Along with that, color of the frog really doesn't matter. My rule of thumb is cloudy, overcast, as you guys can kind of see, is a darker profile, black, brown. Lighter, you want more of a white belly. If it's real bright out, sunny, what have you. I usually go black or something real bright. If it's real bright and sunny out, it can get hard to see a frog. So I'll get something that's got like a white belly on it, but it's like a chartreuse, like a bright yellow or a bright orange, so I can see it on top of the mat. They're not going to see the top of it, so what's the difference? But you can see it, so you can see where your frog's at. Where I'm throwing this at, we're just going to kind of use this as an example. Alright, so right now where we're throwing this is, what we've got here is we've got a little bit of moss, whatever you want. It's just really crap weeds, whatever you want to call it. Right over here, right there, we've got a tree out in here, and we've got another one over here, and there's a little bit of a drop off out here. It goes from like 3 to 5 feet, and the channel is running right out here on the outside edge of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to start and work just the outside, just dump the frog in a foot right about here up inside the weeds, and then we'll work our way in. So if there's a fish out here, we can get that fish out here before we disturb the rest of it. If you pull that fish from the inside all the way back up in there and pull him across, he's going to chase everything else off while he's at it. So yeah, I'll switch back to the other camera and I'll keep explaining this to you guys and hopefully be able to. And as far as where I'm looking to throw a frog, is thick vegetation where you can't really throw anything else. Those bass are shoved up in there, they're hiding, they're pressured. Weldon Springs is a really pressured lake just because there's not a lot of high-speed boats and a lot of boat traffic. It's a lot of beating the banks out here. You're looking for, obviously, cover weeds. If you can find cover that's cover on top of cover, like this tree I showed you guys, a tree inside the weeds, those are going to be prime spots just because it's something different. You're looking for those subtle differences in the vegetation itself. And then when you get up to it, you're looking for natural features in the weed line itself, whether you've got it to where it's going to come out to a point here, and then, or you've got a real deep pocket that's open, things like that. Let's go ahead and get this thing in the water here. As far as a retrieve, what we're doing is cast it in there. I'll let it sit and let the ripples kind of go away. If it's in the mat, just let it sit for a second. Just kind of let it sit there, and then you can either twitch, pause, or just a slow retrieve. You just kind of have to figure that out as you go. And then you're going to keep your rod tip up as well, kind of about that 10 to 11 o'clock position, and I'll explain that a little bit later as we get in there. But right now, as you guys can see, I'm just a twitch, pause, twitch, let it sit. And that gives it gives the fish a chance to come up and grab it, get a hold of it, see it, find it. Especially in thick vegetation, they can't see it. They're using their lateral line to find it. So you want to be able to give them a chance to find it, not just rifle it in there and just twitch, and get it right back out. Slow down. That's the biggest thing. I see a lot of people frog fish and they fish it like a buzzbait. I have never seen a frog move like a buzzbait. I promise you, a frog does not move that fast. All right, you guys, and off camera. Oh, son of a gun! Just stuck that in my hand. Whew. Off camera while I was going. What we've got here, this is going to bring me to my next one. Little 12-inch dink. I'd qualify for the tournament for the TRL, and I'll explain that to you guys in another video. But first fish of the day, out of the middle of the weeds. Let me get this out of the water so I'm not wrapping it around my transducer. Next thing we're going to talk about is the strike itself. When that fish hits it, you're going to get one of two options. And this fish, you guys, was sitting on this little tree branch out here right in an open pocket, so I had all three of those. God, that hurt too. He got me right on the fingernail. Three variations of the coverall in one. We had the matted grass, the tree, and that open pocket. I flipped it over the tree, brought it back. As soon as it touched that open pocket, it come up and annihilated it. Which, your strike, you're either going to get the full-blown breach where that thing's going to come out of the water like a whale, or the slurp, or the kiss, whatever you want to call it, where he just kind of comes up and just sucks it under. Either way, what you want to do when you get that, the first reaction, I do it a lot still too, and it drives me nuts that I do it, I don't have the patience for it, is wait. Don't just immediately come back and set that hook. Give him a second, because if you think about it, he's coming up through the weeds. He's got all those weeds in his mouth. Give him a second to come up, get those weeds, and suck that frog in. Count to two. 1, 2, hook set. It is usually enough time you're not going to miss a fish. But yeah, you're going to get the two types of strikes. Either they're just going to come up and just kind of slurp at it, or they're going to full-blown what I call the breach and come clean, super aggressive, super hungry, coming for it. Again, the catch, hook set. That's the first thing on my list on the catch is the hook set. Wait, it's patience. Count to 2. 1, 2, hook set. And that 1 to 2 is usually enough time if your rod's in that 10 to 11 o'clock position to reel down, pick up your slack, and then set the hook. That's kind of a good rule of thumb is fish hits it, reel down, set the hook. Reel down or count to 2, whichever one's slower. You don't want to wait too long, but you got to find that fine line. 1 to 2, reel your slack down, set the hook. Once you do hook that fish, keep your rod tip up. Especially like I fish a lot out of a kayak, as you guys know. But keep that rod tip up. This way, if he comes at you, you've got something, you still have that tension. You're not going to get that nice bow in your line. He's going to throw the hook, because it's super easy to throw a hook, especially because he's got all those weeds in there. So you're probably not getting the greatest hook set a lot of times. If you do, and you get that big double hook right through the nose, you could set your rod down. He's not going to be able to shake it because those barbs aren't going to come out. But a lot of the time, you're not getting that double penetrated hook through the jaw. You're getting it over here in the side or something. But yeah, keep that rod tip up. It's going to help you keep tension on the line. And if you can, especially with smaller fish, it's easier. You can skate them across the top. Once you get their head up, you can just reel and skate them across the top of the weeds. They don't dig down. The bigger fish, however, they're gonna pull you in, which is where the braid and that heavy action rod come in. So this all just kind of ties into one. When you land the fish, obviously be careful. Try and, when the fish gets up here to the boat, after he's calmed down a little bit before you grab him, either net him and then you can mess with him, or if you're gonna lip him like I did, make sure you know where that hook's at so you're not sticking a hook in your hand. It hurts. It's a good size hook, and the barb was just underneath there, so I got a pretty good tear on my finger. But yeah, land the fish, whether you're using net or your finger, grab them. Just make sure you know where that hook's at too, just so you don't end up going around the rest of the day with a hook in your hand and let it ruin your day. CPR, I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with it in the kayaking world, the tournament world, kayak tournament world. How they measure fish is off a bump board. It's not by weight, it's by total length. So you're catching 5 fish, but it's whoever has the most length overall. So you're not going for the fattest fish, you're going for the longest fish. Call it CPR, catch, photo, release. You want to do it as quick as possible. Get the fish, get your pictures with him. Whether you got a camera rolling or you got somebody else with you with a camera or what have you, get your pictures, get your measurement, check your photo if you're tournament fishing. Make sure you've got your identifier in there, it's visible, the fish's mouth is closed against the bump board, tail pinched together, and you've got the whole fish in the photo. Make sure it's a good one, let him go. If you're in a tournament, you catch a fish, get him up here, get him up to the boat here, lip grips. Get him up here, get him unhooked, or you can have him in a net and just have the net hanging over the side, let him swim around in the net, or lip grip and keep him in the water, keeps him alive, keeps him fresh. This way he's not sitting, laying in the bottom of your boat, just flopping around, wearing himself out, possibly gonna kill the fish, stress him out. But catch, photo, release. Get him up here, get your photos, all that, be remotely quick about it, get him back in the water, make sure hold him there for a minute. He'll let you know when he wants to go. So yeah, I'm gonna keep on fishing, you guys. This is gonna be the end of this video. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. If you guys have any questions or you want to add something to this or share information, drop it in the comments down below. And until next time, you guys, I will see you out there.